There comes a moment in every life, silent, invisible, when a person must make a decision that won't be announced on television, that won't be praised or even noticed, a decision made in the dark, in the quiet, in the depth of a soul that has grown tired of the excuses, tired of waiting for the world to change, tired of hoping the mountain would shrink. It's the moment you realize life isn't going to hand you what you want. It never has. It never will. And in that moment, if you're honest, brutally honest, you'll feel something shift. You'll stop looking out the window and start looking in the mirror. Because here's the truth. Wishing it were easier is a waste of the life you've been given. But choosing to become better, to rise, to endure, to grow stronger than the obstacles, that's where the power is. That's where the fire begins. You don't get stronger by avoiding the weight. You get stronger by lifting it. You don't grow by avoiding the storm. You grow by walking straight into it, soaked, battered, but unbroken. Because storms aren't sent to destroy you. They're sent to reveal you. This was the philosophy of those who built legacies, not excuses. Lincoln didn't wish the Civil War away. He stood tall in the face of a fractured nation and became the leader history needed. Edison didn't sit around hoping the candle would burn longer. He failed 1,000 times, inventing light. And when people asked him how it felt to fail over and over again, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's not weakness, that's strength, that's mindset. And that's where it all begins, with mindset. Because your mind is the battlefield, not the economy, not the politics, not the weather or your upbringing or your education. The battle is in the mind. If you can win there, you can win anywhere. But if you lose there, you'll be defeated before you even begin. You see, people spend years building resumes, chasing titles, collecting possessions. But the rare few, the ones who truly succeed, they spend their lives building character, discipline, grit, perspective. And they don't waste time complaining about how hard it is. They understand that the difficulty is the training ground. They know that diamonds aren't born in silk. They're forged under pressure, in the belly of the earth, over time. Just like you. You were born with potential, yes. But potential without effort is poverty. The world is full of people who could have been something, but weren't willing to become it. So you want a better life? Don't ask for a lighter load. Build a stronger back. Want more success? Don't chase it. Become the kind of person success is attracted to. Success is not a destination you stumble into. It's a result you earn through clarity, discipline, and execution. That's why clarity matters, because if you don't know who you are, what you want, or where you're going, you'll fall for anything, follow anyone, and end up nowhere. Clarity isn't given, it's discovered. And it doesn't come when things are easy. It comes when you dig deep, when you stop distracting yourself and start questioning yourself. What do I value? What am I willing to fight for? What am I willing to sacrifice for? Most people won't ask these questions because they're uncomfortable. They shake the foundation. But the moment you get clear, crystal clear, on what you stand for and what you're chasing, you gain something rare in this world: direction. And with direction comes purpose, and purpose is the fuel of the soul. Do you think Carnegie built his empire because he wanted more money in the bank? Number, he had a vision, a purpose, something larger than himself. So did Ford, so did Disney, so did Mandela. Their mission burned hotter than their fear. It pulled them out of bed when comfort tried to keep them in. It drove them to act when others froze in fear. That's the power of vision. And here's the truth. Life doesn't give you what you wish for. It gives you what you're willing to work for, what you're willing to bleed for, what you're willing to become worthy of. Because life is not a lottery. It's a forge. You don't win it, you earn it. And in the earning, you transform. Now let's talk about discipline. Not the kind of discipline that's forced on you by a boss or a parent or a clock. I'm talking about self-discipline. The kind that comes from within. The kind that says, I will do it because I said I would. That internal code of honor that separates the talkers from the doers, the watchers from the builders, the victims from the victors. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. But most people never build that bridge. They wait for someone else to carry them across. They wait for motivation. But let me tell you something. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the firewood. You can light it once, but if there's no wood, no habits, no structure, no follow-through, that fire dies out in minutes. Real progress isn't loud. It's quiet. It's the 5 a.m. alarm clock. It's saying no to the party so you can say yes to the future. It's showing up when nobody's watching, when no one is clapping, when no one believes, except you. That's what separates the average from the great. The great don't need applause to act. They don't need easier roads to run. They've trained their soul to be tougher than the terrain. So if you find yourself praying for an easier life, stop. Pray for more strength, more focus, more courage, because the truth is, life is always going to be hard. There's no easy version, but you can become better. You can become sharper, wiser, more resilient, more powerful than the pressure. And that's when the world starts to change around you, not because it got easier, but because you got better. Action, that's the next step. And not just any action, not busy work, not distraction, not movement disguised as progress. Purposeful action, intentional, relentless, directed like an arrow from a focused mind. You can't think your way to success. You must act your way there. The bridge from dream to reality is paved with decisions, one after another. Small ones, hard ones, unseen ones. Action is what makes vision visible. Without it, your dream stays a wish, a fantasy, a comforting thought that keeps you warm but never sets you on fire. Walt Disney didn't sketch Mickey Mouse and then wait for the world to applaud. He worked, relentlessly. Rejected over 300 times by bankers, told again and again that nobody would come to a theme park for families. But he acted anyway. Why? Because the vision burned too hot to ignore. He knew something most people forget. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you act despite the fear. So stop waiting to feel ready. You'll never feel ready. Start where you are, with what you have. That's where everyone begins. The difference between those who make it and those who don't. One group acts, the other hesitates. And hesitation is a silent killer. It whispers lies. Maybe later. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe when I have more money, more time, more support. But tomorrow never comes. Later becomes never. And the graveyard becomes filled with maybes that were never turned into musts. Turn your maybes into musts. You must rise early. You must stay focused. You must learn the skill, make the call, take the risk, fail forward, get back up, try again. That is the rhythm of a life built on action. And here's something else. The moment you start to move, the world moves with you. Doors open, opportunities appear. People begin to notice. Why? Because energy attracts energy. Movement attracts momentum. You are not a statue. You are a force of nature, a builder, a doer, a creator. And while you build, while you act, never forget to build with gratitude. Gratitude is not weakness. Gratitude is power. It grounds you. It reminds you that no matter how far you have to go, you've already come a long way. Gratitude shifts your perspective from lack to abundance, from fear to faith, from survival to strength. You see, it's easy to complain when things are hard. It's easy to curse the difficulty. But real power comes when you learn to thank the difficulty, because it's shaping you into someone better. You don't become strong by strolling through the garden. You become strong by climbing the mountain, hands bloodied, legs shaking, heart pounding. And at the top, you realize you were never climbing the mountain was building you. Every setback is a lesson, every struggle is a sculptor, every failure is a forge. And gratitude is what keeps you from growing bitter in the process. Because bitterness will rot your soul. It will make you believe that life owes you something. But gratitude reminds you that life has already given you everything you need to begin. Breathe in your lungs, fire in your belly, a mind that can think, a heart that can love, hands that can build. That's enough to start. And when you live with gratitude, your problems stop looking like prison walls and start looking like stepping stones. This is where adaptability comes in. The road won't be straight. The plan will change. Life will test you with unexpected turns, with storms that weren't on the radar. But the goal remains the same. Don't fold. Adapt. Bend. Don't break. Shift. Don't stop. Adjust the sails, but never abandon the ship. The bamboo plant bends in the wind, but it doesn't snap. Why? Because it's rooted deep and it's built to flex. You must be the same. Rooted in purpose, flexible in method. The economy may crash. Your relationships may strain. Your plans may burn to the ground. But if your spirit is built on principles, not circumstances, then no storm can take you out. Adaptability is the key to survival, but more than that, it's the key to growth. The best entrepreneurs, the best leaders, the best minds don't fight change, they use it. They see the breakdown and find the breakthrough. And when things go wrong, because they will, that's when resilience must take over. Resilience isn't about avoiding the fall, it's about getting up again and again and again. Thomas Edison failed over and over. Abraham Lincoln lost elections. Oprah was fired from her first job. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team. They all fell, but they rose. Every single time. Resilience is earned through experience. It's built when you refuse to let the failure define you. When you look at the pain and say, "You don't break me, you build me." The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more resilient people. People who fall down 7 times and stand up 8. People who carry scars like medals, not shame. People who can take the punch and still choose love, choose purpose, choose to keep going. And here's the truth most won't tell you. You're going to lose sometimes. You're going to be misunderstood, overlooked, judged, rejected. That's part of the process. That's the fire that burns away the ego and leaves behind character. And once you've been through the fire, once you've built yourself, not wished it was easier, no one can take that from you. That strength is yours, forever. But even resilience, even mindset, even purpose won't get you far if you're not learning. Lifelong learning isn't an option. It's the requirement for mastery. You can't lead if you're not learning. You can't grow if you're not willing to question. Every mentor you admire, every titan of industry, every voice that moves millions, they are students first. Students of life, students of experience, students of discipline and time and failure. Jim Rohn once said, "Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. And that fortune isn't just financial. It's a wealth of wisdom, of confidence, of understanding the game of life." So read the books, study the greats, ask the questions, watch, listen, reflect, refine, adjust. Don't let your pride keep you stuck. Don't let your past success make you think you've arrived. Because the moment you stop learning, you start dying. And this entire journey is about becoming, not arriving. Becoming is not an event. It's a process, a relentless pursuit of the highest version of yourself. You don't stumble into greatness. You forge it, one decision at a time, one uncomfortable choice at a time, one difficult day at a time. And while the world is busy chasing shortcuts, chasing hacks and tricks and magic pills, the builders, the visionaries, the unstoppable few, they are doing the work, the real work, the kind that isn't glamorous, the kind that doesn't get likes or applause, the kind that takes place when no one's watching, when everyone else is asleep, when there's nothing but silence and sacrifice. Because here's the truth, the extraordinary life is hidden behind ordinary days done with extraordinary discipline. That's where champions are made, not in front of the crowd, but in the silence of consistency. You think the Navy SEAL becomes elite on the battlefield? He becomes elite in the hours of training, of sweat, of repetition, of pain embraced and weakness eradicated. When it hurts, he pushes harder. When it's boring, he locks in. When it's hopeless, he still shows up. That's what separates the elite from the average. Not talent, not luck. Standards. Raise your standards. Don't lower the mountain. Sharpen your edge. Don't ask life to ease up. Increase your capacity. You were never meant to crawl. You were never meant to beg. You were born to build. But you'll never build anything lasting if you don't first build you. The man who conquers the world but loses himself, he's built nothing. But the man who conquers himself, he's built everything. And that begins by taking full responsibility, not partial, full. No more blaming, no more excuses. The minute you say, "I am responsible," is the minute you take back your power. That doesn't mean everything is your fault, but it is your move. What you do from here, that's yours. The victim says, "Why is this happening to me?" The builder says, "What can I build with this?" That shift, from victim to builder, from passenger to captain, is the difference between drifting through life and designing it. And design requires vision, not vague dreams. Vision, the kind that burns into your soul and keeps you up at night. The kind that won't let you quit because it knows you were made for more. People without vision fall into patterns. They wake up, go to work, come home, scroll, sleep, repeat. But people with vision, they build in silence while others are busy surviving. They invest when others are wasting. They sacrifice when others are indulging. Why? Because they're chasing legacy, not comfort. You don't need another app. You don't need another lucky break. You need vision, purpose, and a backbone strong enough to carry it through the valley. And when the nights get long, when the path gets steep, you must remember this. Your pain is proof that you're still in the game. Your discomfort is confirmation that you are not asleep. The pressure is not a punishment. It is preparation. You are being prepared. Prepared to carry more, to become more, to lead more, to handle more. And the fire you feel now is burning off the parts of you that cannot go where you're meant to go. Don't run from the fire. Walk through it. Let it melt the ego. Let it burn off the laziness. Let it refine you into steel. Because once you've walked through fire and refused to break, there's not a storm on earth that can shake you. And still, as you rise, as you build, as you transform, there's one thing you must never lose: your character. Because skill will open the door, but character determines whether you stay inside. The world has seen talented men fall, wealthy men crumble, influential people implode, not because they lacked ability, but because they lacked integrity. Character is your foundation, and if the foundation is cracked, the tower will collapse, no matter how high you build it. So build with honor, speak with truth, show up with humility, treat people with dignity, not because it's convenient, but because it's right. And don't mistake kindness for weakness. True strength is humble. True confidence listens. True power serves. You don't lead by domination, you lead by example. Be the one who shows up early, who does the hard thing, who takes responsibility, who doesn't gossip, who doesn't need the credit, who lifts others while they climb. That's real power. That's the kind of man, the kind of woman, the kind of human the world is starving for. And as you become that person, as you sharpen your mind, steel your spirit, build your life brick by brick, the world will feel different. Not because it changed, but because you did. You'll see that wishing for ease was never the answer. Ease doesn't shape you. Comfort doesn't call you higher. It lulls you to sleep. But difficulty wakes you up. It demands your focus. It demands your strength. It demands your best. And if you give it, if you meet life with boldness, with commitment, with soul-deep resilience, something inside you will begin to rise. A force, a fire, a certainty, not in the world, not in the system, not in your paycheck, but in you. You'll realize you don't need easier roads, you need tougher shoes. You don't need a lighter burden, you need a stronger spine. And you don't need everything to go right, you need the right mindset when everything goes wrong. So don't wish it was easier. Don't waste another second blaming the world, your past, or your pain. Build yourself, build your clarity, build your vision, build your habits, build your resilience, build your wisdom, build your life. And when the world looks at you and asks how you did it, you'll smile. Not because it was easy, but because you were forged in the fire and you chose to rise anyway. And now you stand here, not at the end, but at the edge. The edge of who you've been and who you're becoming. The edge of excuses and execution. The edge of comfort and conquest. And the question remains not can you do it? Because the answer has always been yes. The real question is, will you? Will you rise when it would be easier to rest? Will you step forward when fear grabs your throat? Will you speak truth when silence is more convenient? Will you train, build, read, sweat, focus, even when the reward is nowhere in sight? Because this is the law of greatness. You do not get what you want. You get who you become. And life does not hand out trophies for participation. Life rewards the relentless. It crowns the ones who refuse to quit. It favors the bold, the disciplined, the ones who say, no matter what, I will rise. No more begging life to go easy on you. No more praying for less pain, for a smoother path, for someone to save you. Become the person who saves yourself. Because if you're waiting for the world to hand you a miracle, you'll miss the miracle you've already been given. Choice. The choice to grow. The choice to change. The choice to become something no one thought you could. Not even you. It is not talent. It is not timing. It is not luck. It is resolve. You choose who you become. You choose whether this day, this hour, this very moment will pass like the rest, or become the line in the sand where your old self ends and your future begins. You don't need easier. You need to get stronger. You don't need permission. You need to give yourself command. You don't need to wait. You need to move now, because the clock doesn't stop. The years won't pause. And life will pass by whether you show up for it or not. But if you do show up, if you build yourself, if you stare your weakness in the eye and say, you're not in charge anymore, you'll tap into a strength that cannot be faked, a strength that cannot be stolen, a strength that becomes who you are. And that strength, you earned it, through the grind, through the fire, through the days you didn't want to but did anyway. And long after others have quit, long after the noise fades, long after the applause is gone, you'll still be standing, not because it was easy, but because you built yourself to be better. And that is the difference. That is the destiny. And that is the legacy. So go, building and never look back. Because the world doesn't need more wishes. It needs more warriors. And your time is now.